All the latest transfer news on deadline day for Manchester United fans. We want your opinions in the live chat. Continue it as well in the comments section. And don't forget to smash that like button to help support the channel. I want to start with Jadon Sancho first. Members of the bomb squad.
Yeah, well, I think it's the best news to start with, to be honest with you. Best news of the day. For me, it feels as though this is a dark cloud lifting off my head, because this has been a total disaster. Going to Aston Villa, going on loan, 80% of his wages being paid by Aston Villa. I am very, very shocked that Unai Emery wants him. But for me, I don't care where he goes. And I think many, many United fans are out there, when they started seeing the news this morning and the reports that Jadon Sancho is finally out of this club. But the responsibility on everything about Jadon Sancho goes back to the previous regime. They're the people what made the mistake on Jadon Sancho and made many, many mistakes. £73 million this player cost, and it's been a total disaster. 2021. I am so glad he's gone.
A lot of people are already getting involved in the live chat. And I think, and I get a sense here already, that people are disappointed that we've not managed to bring in a midfielder in this transfer window. Some certain terms that I've seen in there, people are saying it's been neglected by the club in this window. What's your thoughts on that? And, you know, was it a priority for you to get a midfielder in this transfer window?
I think everyone can see it was a priority. I think Ruben Amorim knows it was a priority, especially when you look at his starting Casemiro. None of us ever thought that. Yes, that's a disappointment, but you can't have everything. You just can't have everything. And to go and get that player, especially the holding midfield player, it's going to cost a lot of money, and you want a top player. So for me, I think it's a process. Got to wait till next season. Well, the next summer transfer window, I think, when there's more money in there, when everything's calmed down. And what you've got to do is you've just got to get behind whoever's in that midfield and in the team and back them now. It is what it is. There's nothing anyone can do. Yes, it's a disappointment, but fans always have disappointments. We always want more. And it was a priority. But, you know, for me, I just have to say to myself, we've got 3 goal scorers in. So I think that's good. Absolutely good. Yes, priorities. You don't always get what you want.
You don't in life, but I think a lot of us, realistically, before we went into this transfer window, knew it was never going to be all fixed in one window. Me, myself, was talking 2 or 3 summer transfer windows, and I think the profile of players, I think we've got to be really positive around, I think, in the players that we've signed this window, because they look like they're going to be good players for us, and they're going to give us them levels of what we've not had in previous years here at this club.
Yeah, when you look at the players we've signed, you can't argue with it. You cannot argue. And I say to myself, it is going to take time for these players to settle in. We know Cunha's just come out injured after the Burnley game. That happens. I've seen worse players on the first training session go out injured. So for me, I think we have to be realistic here. It's going to take time. We'll have our ups and downs with them, in and out of form. You know, there's an international break now. So for me, I think it's time, a good time for the club to sort of settle down, reassess what we've got at the end of play today, and then just look forward to it, and the fans just get behind it. It's not going to be perfect, and it's going to be a rough ride, but we get behind them and then regroup again next summer. That's how I see it. I don't see it any other way.
Any updates out there from what anyone's seen on Mason Mount and Cunha? Amorim did say that, you know, he was concerned by losing them because of the drop in intensity that we will have by missing them 2 players. So any updates out there, please get it in the live chat or the comment section below. I'm actually amazed how much... Amazed, I actually really am here, on how much we've got for Antony, especially when you add in that sell-on clause as well.
Well, you look at it...
I'm amazed. I really am.
You know,
Great bit of business, I think, from Manchester United, that, you know.
Well,
I know, obviously, the transfer fee and what we paid for him, but let's have it right. You know, the team in the background weren't there and paid that money for Antony. But to recoup what we have done and the potential then going forward with that sell-on clause, I think they've done really good business based on his performances here at United, you know.
Well, for United to agree a fee of £21.5 million and a clause, a 50% sell-on clause, I've got to go with Kieron on this. I don't know how you see it. I'm amazed as well. I never thought we'd get that much, especially off Real Betis, the way it's gone. But when you look at how it's been negotiated and everything, and the same with Sancho trying to get him out of the club, we've always said it'll go down to virtually the wire with these the players in the bomb squad, and that's what's happened. But surprised, I think I'm more than surprised. But hey, he's out of the club. He didn't fit United. He didn't fit the Premier League, and he spat his dummy out. Didn't want to speak to anyone else, and he always wanted Real Betis, and they've come up with the money. You know, we've got no money. That's all we've heard all summer. We've got no money. We can't afford him. We can't afford his wages. Well, I tell you what, you have to hand it to the men in suits, because I never envisaged getting any money for him, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think many fans out there will agree, because it just did not look that way.
The forgotten man, though, and I think a few might have forgot already, but Tyrell Malacia. I mean, as it stands now, I'm searching around everywhere to try and find out some latest updates on him, and it looks like he's still going to be at Manchester United.
I've not heard of anyone come in for him, a definite offer, or even look at him. Yes, there's rumours, but we always see rumours of clubs having a look. But hey, you know, if he ends up staying here at Manchester United, what can we do? Do you know what I mean? We might end up loaning him out at some point down the line. You just don't know. He's not the biggest problem here at Manchester United. We all know who the biggest problem was, and the priority. When you talk about priorities, you have to get these people out, and we've got the main ones out because the culture and everything has suffered under the spotlight of these overpaid players. You look at who's already gone out of the bomb squad. You've got Rashford there out on loan. You've got to hope that he gets a fee next summer, that he plays decent football at Barcelona so United can recoup. And then you look at Garnacho. Garnacho dug his heels in, but I didn't expect anything else. Turned down Bayern Munich to even have chats, and he's ended up at Chelsea with a 7-year contract. It's about money, and it's the same with Sancho. All about money. You know, to turn down Chelsea and not take a less pay cut, to take a pay cut, absolutely baffled me. But hey, that's the man, that's the bomb squad for you, and they needed to get out. Now we can sort out behind the scenes and get, how can I say, players what are coming into the club to really get on with understanding what this football club and what it means to its fans. We've lost it for many years, and the signings and the, like I say, 73 million for Sancho, the mad money we paid for Antony. So for me, it's all changed, and the men in suits are going to change it. It might be difficult to swallow for fans at times when we're listening to what the men in suits are going to be doing. But the thing is, you have to be tough, and you have to stick to the line with these players to change anything. And if they divert from the, how can I say it, from the line they're on with these players, then the fact that the culture behind, they'll run amok. We've seen it, and we've seen it now since the day Fergie left, and it's been a total disaster. Hopefully, and let's get behind the players, let's get behind the club for this season, and let's hope that the men in suits, no more missteps are made.
Like I was mentioning before about Cunha and Mason Mount updates, hopefully they are fit and we see him at least on the bench or starting against Manchester City after the international break. But this is where the door could actually open for Kobbie Mainoo. We've heard Amorim's comments about his fighting Bruno in training for that position, but Bruno might be moved back into that number 10 position, maybe like a false 9 come that game against Manchester City because of injuries with Cunha and Mason Mount. So he's got to take this with, both hands, Kobbie Mainoo, if that is the case.
Well, this is the mad world of football. You just never know what's round the corner. Kobbie there looked like he definitely wanted a loan exit. He's looking at the World Cup, trying to get back in that, and he wants to play football. And I'm not knocking him for that, and I don't think anyone should, because he was told his routes blocks, and the man who never gets dropped is in front of him. So he wasn't going to move him. But Cunha's injury, Mason Mount's injury, yes, Bruno will move. Kobbie's in there. And it just shows you in the space of a few days how things turn round. So his future looks bright, and there's no two ways about it. He will grab it. Now, whether he's moved further forward or put in Bruno's place, it's like a merry-go-round here at the moment. But hey, absolutely fine for Kobbie to come in. We all know how good he is. And if he gets a run, he will fight and he will keep players out. And that's what you want. So for me, Cunha's injury is a blow. Bit of a blow. Mason Mount's injury, that's a bit of a blow. Not too sure how serious that one is. I think the Cunha is more serious, but it gives opportunities, and thank God we've got someone capable on the side able to come in.
Yeah, I do get a feel though that this one might be revisited again come that January transfer window with Kobbie Mainoo. I think, was it last Friday? I've seen reports there coming out from The Athletic with Andy Mitten saying, I'm not too sure of the time frame, but Kobbie Mainoo had turned down several contract offers by Manchester United. For me, that long-term future then isn't secured with having Mainoo here then. Maybe himself is looking at his own future.
No, but you, like I say, you never know what's round the corner. He might get a run of games. He might stay in the team. He might prove to the manager, and that's what it's all down to. He might prove to the manager, you can't get me out of this team. But like when you talk about reports there about he turned down several contract offers, it's very funny how all the reports came out about Kobbie Mainoo going out on loan and everything, and then and then it's dropped that he had several contract offers and he turned them down. Yeah. It's like the club put out to a certain journalist a brief as if to say, let's counteract this. Let's put the negative on Kobbie. Let's get the fans turning on Kobbie because we don't like what we're hearing. That's how it seemed to me. So, but that's the world of reporting and that's the world of PR. But for me, no, Kobbie's got everything and everything to prove to the manager. And to be honest, as a fan, that's what you want. You want competition. You want fight. So when Cunha and Mason Mount come, here we go again, which is good. And which is good for United going forward this year.
Ray Carl Brown, thanks for your super chat, my mate.
Thank you.
I think we are done now for the summer. I believe we have a lot more money. We will have a lot more money in summer 2026 and then go big. I mean, I think a lot of us, when we're thinking about the summer 2026 window, I mean, I'm not looking too far ahead just yet, mate. But when you do think about it, when you're being questioned on it, Belieber's going to be top up there on the list, surely, for that midfield position. Well,
when you look at next summer, having money and all that, you've got to look, Rashford, for instance, there may be a nice payday coming in for him. And then you also look Rasmus Højlund. If the Champions League is achieved by Napoli and he's in the team, they pay £40 million. So for me, there's money there possibly coming in for that. So everything looks good for next summer. They've done the accounts here. We've called them the accountants in there. They've absolutely just ripped it bare inside the club. So a good showing this year on the team. You've got the sponsors and that, and there is sponsors still coming in and that. So there might be a nice big kitty there next year from player sales. And you've also got to look at the players they've sent out on loan. Now, will they play well? And if they play well, will they get back in the club? And if they don't, there's possibilities there. There's decent money. You've got Toby Collier. I like him. So, and a lot of people out there do like him. But are the club looking at keeping him if he has a good season? Is he in the shop window? And there's many things like that going on. So next summer will be completely different. I think really we should look forward to next summer because they know what they've got to do. We started here with your comments. The priority was a holding midfield player. Well, there's no excuses next year for that. We know that. You look at who's there, Casemiro and Ugarte. For me, he's been bombed out, Ugarte. Casemiro's there, always starting the games. But Ugarte has to fight back and come in there. And there's the competition for it.
I mentioned Belabor there, but it's up to Belabor himself to have another good season, increase his levels as well at Brighton, or you might hear other names be associated then with Manchester United, other targets they might be looking at. But the most important thing for Manchester United and that summer window of 2026 is where they finish in the Premier League this season.
Well, we've all got to hope.
With finances.
Well, you've got to hope that they finish as high as possible. And really, a lot of people a fortnight ago were all talking about Champions League. And then a fortnight later, no one's talking about Champions League. Everyone's just, whoever mentioned, I think we'll get in the top 4, top 5, totally just ignored that because for 10 days it was meltdown here and things are changing now. It's transfer day, it's the end of it, and we have to look forward. We have to look forward to like a better atmosphere within the club, with the manager, with the fans and everything, and get that optimism back, because the optimism over the 10-day period with fans totally collapsed. And that's not just online, that's at Old Trafford on match day as well.
I think the Saudi and Turkish window, is that still open? Is it for an extra week? Anyone got actually specific dates? Let me know in the chat. Was it around about the 10th or the 11th? That's still open too. So I think a lot of fans out there are thinking and discussing with themselves, Andre Onana, Bayindir, is one of the Turkish clubs going to come in for one of them with us, getting Lammens?
Well, Lammens has come in. That looked like it had stalled. So the goalkeeper is here at Manchester United, which is absolutely fantastic news. It did stall. And I think what's happened over the last 48 hours, the interest shown in Martinez from Aston Villa actually got this back on track. He's a young lad. And he will come straight in at City. There's no plans at this moment, what we've seen, for Onana and Bayindir to move on. Clearly, Bayindir is the #1 goalkeeper. He's in front of Onana. So I'd imagine, if anything, they'd be looking to try and offload Onana no matter where. And it just might happen in the next, the window in January. They might have to wait. You just don't know. But the goalkeeper coming in is great. And the cost of him, £18.2 million plus add-on. So that's good. And he's got a future behind him. And let's hope that he does it. And in a way, I'm happy that we haven't got Martinez, because we're spending money on a player and we want to develop him. And he's a good goalkeeper. I've not seen lots of him, but all reports are out there. But it's going to be tough on him, Kieran. I mean, it's really going to be tough. The spotlight is going to be on no player more than the goalkeeper.
I know a lot of people out there, including yourself and Webby, have been talking about Donnarumma, and Manchester United deserve, a world-class goalkeeper. But I'm looking at the mistakes that have been made from Onana, Bayindir, especially over the last 12 months. I don't think we need to go out and buy the #1 goalkeeper out there. We need a goalkeeper who can just do the basics in catching a ball. Yeah, and that might sound like bad from me, or like and proper disrespecting them two players. But it's simple with your own eyes, seeing it, the eye test. These goalkeepers can't catch a ball. And that's all we need, a goalkeeper to come in and just do the basics right. And by the sounds of it, they've gone for this keeper. It looks like they've chosen him over Martinez. So he must be able to catch a ball. And that's what I'm happy with, a goalkeeper who can come in and do the basics.
Well, what this team needed, right, was the players to look behind him at the goalkeeper, right, and not worry. So just bringing in a new goalkeeper, what can do the job, okay? As Kieran says, he didn't have to be fantastic to be brought in this window. But, in the future, he could turn out to be a fantastic goalkeeper. Only time will tell. But by bringing in a goalkeeper might change the mindset of the players in front of him, will give them more confidence and everything. And there's one thing about bringing Lammens in, okay? It will give confidence to the fans. The fans have been on the floor. They've just sort of like I say, over 10 days, they've given up of the future. It just seemed to be erratic all around the club, in the fan base and everything. But bringing in a goalkeeper will settle everyone down, and that's what you want. And he's got time to settle in, with it being the international break.
Look, fans aren't stupid as well. They see it with their own eyes week on week, and they can see that no matter what goalkeeper you use out of Andre Onana and Bayindir, through the season, we're going to drop points because of mistakes that they're going to make. And it looks like it would be a regular occurrence, them making mistakes. I mean, on crosses, corners. I mean, Andre Onana,
diving on the right, diving on your left. Just the simple, normal things you expect goalkeepers to do.
Yeah.
They're not doing it. So for me, what a big uplift it will be for the players, especially those front three and the two wing backs. They have to get down, do the job, and I think they will. Just having a decent goalkeeper at this moment, there's your priority. There is your priority.
And you've got to look at it. I know a lot of people are still getting involved in the chat. You know, they did want that midfielder in, that ball-winning midfielder in this transfer window. Doesn't look like we're getting it. So you've got to look at the players now in the squad, and you've got to think, look, lads, you're going to have to step up. I mean, Ugarte, since that Everton game in pre-season, it just looks like his performances have fell off a cliff. You could maybe go back to the West Ham defeat here towards the end of the season at Old Trafford. And I don't think Ruben Amorim's really got that confidence in him to be his number one in that position either.
Well, we don't see what's happening in training, and he definitely hasn't got him down as the number one. He's got no confidence in him. That's why Casemiro's in there. You look at Casemiro's performances last year, didn't really do well. Slow, slide tackling, getting booked, getting sent off and everything. His game went to bits quite a lot of last season. And then Ugarte put in some decent performances, but something's happened to his performances. Don't know what it's about, but he just looks as though like he could be surplus to requirements if he doesn't regain the mentality really and get on with the job, what he was brought in to do. I look at Casemiro, and Casemiro's words is like he acknowledges he had a poor season last year and he's hoping to do better and he's looking forward to it and he can't wait for this season. But one of the caveats for the reason why he's really looking forward to it, like a lot of players around this country and all over the world, right? It's because they're looking forward to the World Cup, and possibly Sancho, one of the reasons why he's got out there at last. Antony will also look at the same. Garnacho's made his move. Rashford, we know. So that bomb squad, they've got a lot to do. But Casemiro, for me, he's there. He's the number one, and we're all surprised at that. So I think there's many more surprises to come yet.
PJ Ferris, too many easy balls, not contested, getting into the box. Yeah, you've seen it with one of their goals. Was it their first? Burnley, was it Foster? You know, from their right-hand side, our left-hand side, you know, not getting closed down quick enough. Seen a lot of that against Grimsby in the midweek as well. But we did discuss it as well on the match reaction. Maybe this is a good point for Manchester United to recoup, you know, some calm heads in there to then go again when the international break ends.
Well, we have to go again, and the fans have to go again. We have to get behind this team now. You know, you've got the virus out, you know, the bomb squad, they're out. You've got to look at the culture, and you've also got to look at the fan culture as well. We have a history of getting behind this team when we need it. The crowd went in there on Saturday, and they were right behind the club. They were right behind the players. They were willing them on. And it's actually fascinating when I speak to hundreds of United fans, match goers, on a match day, okay? Because it's just part of what I do. And they were all like ready to get behind, okay? Their expectations of the future had sort of evaporated a lot, but they were all there ready to get behind them. And that's what I do, even though I know at times I think to myself, this is madness. And the fans on Saturday, the many, like I say, hundreds I spoke to. You know, some I had a good chat, long chat with, some are little acquaintances, but you can tell by the faces. Yeah. They knew what they were here for on Saturday. They were here to get behind, and it's going to be a tough season. So we have to get behind. The manager, the players, they all have to come together. They have to regroup and that. And I'm glad that this transfer window is now over. So we can just get down to the business. Yeah. We know what we've got. There's no point moaning. Like I say, we all know what the priority was. It's not been done, and we just have to say, right, here's what we've got. Let's fight. Let's get on with the game. So for me, United fans, we've got a big part and a massive part, to be honest with you, to play in this season, to get behind the lads, because the pressure's going to come.
Yeah, but the fans do that Old Trafford away grounds, and it's up to the players then to respond to that as well.
No, the players will respond to it. Yeah. This is a different world. The world is on top of us now. You know, you talk about Onana, Bayindir, right? Now the spotlight's going to be on the new kid in goal, okay? And then the spotlight's going to be on the manager. The spotlight every day is on players, but the intensity, what's coming, and the culture of Manchester United fans is to stand there, chest out, and just go, we're Man United. We do what we want, and this is it. And we're behind, and we don't care about anyone else. We don't care. We know that eventually it will turn round, but it's a rough and it's a rocky road.
Just going to go back into the chat. Full-time Productions. Thanks for your super chat, my mate.
Thank you, my mate.
We are not going to solve the big problems at United until we address the Bruno problem. He is not composed. He does not look like he follows any instructions formation-wise. I mean, a lot of terms used in conversations about Bruno is positional discipline. I'm not too sure what instructions Ruben Amorim actually gives Bruno in-game about his positional sense, etc., or whether he has that so-called old-school free role or not. I'm not too sure on it.
Well, we might see a different Bruno now, now that Cunha's out. He might be up there. So when he's giving out instructions, we know what he's like. But I did say when he takes penalties and certain things in the game and that, you can't get better than him. So when he's in his natural position, as we see it as fans further forward, there's no criticising him. It's just his certain traits, what he does. And to be honest with you, he's calmed them down a lot. So for me, you know, he's got to be a captain and lead him. And that's sort of like missing from his game, really, where he does get distracted. And you've just got to hope that he sorts it out. But as fans, we get behind him. And when he's really under the cosh, Bruno, he brings it out and he sorts it out. And it surprises a lot of people where, get him out, he's rubbish, he's not this, he's not that. And then suddenly, bang, that performance just absolutely smashes you in the face and shuts you up.
I was actually having a conversation yesterday when Bruno was playing in the number 10 roles, obviously like last season, even before that. And he used to be all in every other position that he's not meant to be in fans' eyes, basically. But when you've seen Mason Mount against Arsenal, Fulham, and then Burnley over the weekend, he's doing the same response, like the same defensive responsibilities of what I've seen Bruno doing as that number 10. But I've seen good performances, though, from Mason Mount, especially from the defensive aspect of it, not just going forward as well. I mean, I remember in the first few minutes against Arsenal, he was the only one tracking back towards the left-back position, won the ball as well. And I've noticed it ever since then. And it goes under the radar a bit, I think, with Mason Mount, the responsibility, and a good one that he does in carrying out that defensive.
Yeah, first few games of the season, you know, players are at different levels and all that, but he has worked really hard, and we have spoke about it. People have noticed it out there, and he's come back as fit as anything, right? He has a lot to prove. So his training, his fitness and everything, I think, is above a few of the players out there. And I think what it is...
With Mason Mount, though, look, age catches us all. It's just genetics. You know what Bruno's age is like now. He's not that same player who we bought in that January transfer window all them years ago. You can clearly see Mount's intensity is a lot higher than Bruno Fernandes. That sharpness is higher than Bruno Fernandes, and I think that's fair to say.
I'm not comparing him to Bruno. I'm not comparing him to Bruno. I'm comparing Mason Mount. If you look at the whole team, right, he seems to be a sharper and fitter than the team. So for me, yes, his work rate and everything is absolutely excellent, but that was nothing less than I demanded from Mason Mount, because he's got a lot to prove. I just hope that this injury is like a niggle where he's had it on the ankle or something like that. And we've had no reports, so we can't, you know, we're only speculating on that. I just hope it's got nothing to do with like his previous injuries where he was out for a long time and that. But for me, no, Mason Mount, when he needs to defend, he can defend proper. But when as a team we defend, Bruno's everywhere. If we're holding on for something, I've seen it in games, the work rate and everything. As a team, when we set up to defend, and I use an example, and I always use this example, Aston Villa away, 0-0. Aston Villa were flying, and the team went out there, set up to defend. Bruno was tremendous. He was all over and he worked hard and there was no shouting and bawling. So as a team, as a unit, when they just do one thing and one thing only, and that was defend, he was superb, Bruno. But we don't get that as often as we would like. But Mason Mount, play anywhere, up front, and if you need him to do a job in the midfield, he will do it.
He does the basics right, Mason Mount. He keeps that ball ticking over from right to left or going forward. And that's what I've always said about Bruno, where I've been critical of when he is in that midfield too, and he's on the... Basically, he's on the faces of the back three and he's taking 2, 3, 4 touches. I don't want to see that from Bruno. He's at his best when he's playing them first-time balls or just one-touch football. That's what I want to see from him, because that brings out the best in him. But we just don't always see that from Bruno.
Well, this is the problem with Ugarte. He's not doing the basics right. So something seems to have gone wrong with him over the summer. And you've just got to hope he gets back to it, because he will be needed. There is players there, and you think, oh, he's not good enough or he's not fit like Ugarte and that. But I'm telling you, you will see a lot of Ugarte this season, because he will come back stronger, because the manager's on him. He's bombed him out. It's quite clear Casemiro's in front of him, and no one expected that.
Maybe he's trying to give him a kick up the backside again.
More than a kick up the backside. He's just telling him, you're not good enough, get off. And that's what he's doing. He's not starting him. It's not a kick up the backside. It's telling him straight. And that's what Ruben Amorim does. Makes it plain, not just to the player, makes it plain to us all by what he does. And he has put Casemiro on from the beginning. And no one would have said that at the beginning of the season, that Casemiro would start every game.
From my point of view, I think Casemiro's probably, you look at the intensity of the Premier League, maybe a season or two here too long, and I never expected him, I've got to be honest, to start the games that we've seen him start already this season. But that's down to Ugarte as well, to start raising his levels. And like I say, from my point of view, I think and I hope the manager's giving him a kick up the backside as to say, you need to raise your game, lad. You need to raise it so you get in front of Casemiro, because it's going to be needed. He does bring that intensity, Ugarte, in covering the ground, but you can also see why PSG sold him, because he is limited on the ball sometimes. Casemiro can ping a 20, 30-yard ball to create and counter-attack on the front foot, whereas Ugarte can't really do that. And if you look at the PSG team, how they played last season, I mean, their 2 holding midfielders or their 2 central midfielders, João Neves, Vitinho, he's nowhere near the standard with the ball at his feet like them two. So he needs to improve, Ugarte. He's had his first season. Last season, he didn't have that pre-season. He's had one down him now, so he needs to step up them levels. But I'm going to go into the chat. Thomas McCardle, just catching up on your super chat, my mate. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Hope you are well, lads. Think the midfield would have been great. A midfielder would have been great, sorry. Good to get a keeper in. Hope Amorim plays him. You've got to stick him in against Manchester City away.
Who?
The goalkeeper who we've just bought, surely.
My God, 100% he's in. There's no two ways about it. Kieron talks about giving players a kick up the backside. What you want from this goalie coming in, right, is giving the players in front of him a kick up the backside. You want the goalie to start shouting instructions. As a goalie, you always want someone who's forceful, who's out there, who dominates the area and that. And we've not seen that from Onana or Bayindir. All right? We want a different goalkeeper, someone who commands it and who is not afraid to open his mouth. Yes, this goalkeeper is young. He's coming to Manchester United, but he has to stand up and give these players a kick up the backside. If you look at some, especially the goals on Saturday against Burnley, players were standing about and that, they were like looking around, expecting other players to do it. We need a goalkeeper what pushes these players further forward instead of them falling back. So against City, my God, he has got the toughest game, but don't let it fall on him. He needs to stand up and just say, hey, you need to do your job, and I'm here, and I'm going to tell you what to do. Be forceful. That's what you want to see. Now, what the result will be, I haven't got a clue, okay? But you want that goalie to stand up and show his authority.
It's going to be an interesting one as well, that derby, because it looks like there's going to be Donnarumma, a new goalkeeper for them, who could possibly be in net and start for them, and Manchester United with Lammens as well. But I think as Manchester United fans, I think we all know who the focus is going to be on that day as well. And it's going to be the Manchester United goalkeeper.
Yeah, well,
they're going to put the spotlight on him. Forget the so-called world number one like Manchester City.
I think what they'll do at the end of the game, they'll compare both of them and their performances. You know,
you'd like to hope so.
Well, the thing is,
the build-up, though.
United are playing away, so the attacking side, the home side, you know, you'd look at it and think, well, United are up against it, but they will play a solid game against them. Donnarumma, way too expensive for the men in suits here. No way was they paying them wage demands or anything. So it's one thing at a time here at Manchester United. Got a young goalkeeper in, and let's all get behind him in that. But you have to see a goalkeeper who comes in and be strong. That's what you want. And the players in front of him have to now start being strong.
Full-time Productions, thanks for your super chat, mate.
Thank you.
Amorim will not start Lammens against City 100%.
I'm telling you, he will.
Criminal.
I'm
going to say it right now. That'd be absolutely criminal, based on the two goalkeepers that he's been using at the start of the season, Onana and Bayindir.
Won't make any sense.
It just won't.
It will absolutely make no sense.
If you can't start him against Manchester City, this goalkeeper, I mean, what's that then saying about him and his mentality? Surely, goalkeepers, you want that confidence there, you know, chest out kind of thing, like you say, screaming at the back four. You want to see that from the minute one he walks in there at Old Trafford.
I've got to say, I think you might be on the wind-up, because it would make absolutely no sense to bring a goalkeeper in, Onana, right, who has been dropped, and that's what he was. He was dropped. He was relegated to the second-best goalkeeper, and the Bayindir was elevated to the number one goalkeeper, and still can't get it right. If Lammens doesn't start against City, there is absolutely no point United getting that deal over the line today. It just won't make sense.
They might have gone for Martinez from Aston Villa.
Well, it don't make any sense. So for me, Lammens in,
doubt it.
And imagine if we'd done a poll on it, 99.9% would have said Lammens starts against Manchester City. But listen, thanks for the super chat anyway.
Yeah, the Napoli president has confirmed the deal for Rasmus Højlund as well, so that's confirmed. And just like to say for Rasmus Højlund, I wish him all the best. I mean, he stayed professional throughout, not going on social media like we've seen some of the bomb squad do, with an attitude. He always said from day one he wanted to fight for his place here at Manchester United. But fighting for your place not always is good enough, especially when we need some like top quality players in here. And I do think we've got one in Sesko, but I'd like to have seen Rasmus Højlund stay here with the likes of Cunha and Bruno behind him to see if we'd have got any different response like we did do last season, because it was poor from him. Well, a lot of the team.
Well, Rasmus Højlund had the right attitude. You can't knock him for his attitude. Cost a lot of money, and he didn't drop his standards at all. He kept fighting and all that. Wasn't good enough. We all know there's several reasons why, but the majority of United fans just think that he wasn't talented enough. He didn't hold the ball up. He wasn't good enough. So other factors didn't help him. But his professionalism, you can't argue about it. But as we said last week and the week before, there's no sentiment here anymore. Okay, it's ruthless. Right? The men in suits are really ruthless now, and they're getting down to it. And you've just got to hope, like I said before, there's no more missteps. But you can't keep hold of these players. They offer the opportunity to come in. I was just a bit disappointed from Rasmus's point of view that they didn't tell him at the end of the season, which would have gave him more time to prepare, and possibly any other offers what come in. But when I look at it, go to Napoli. I mean,
there's no excuses there.
There's nowhere else to go. Napoli, I can't find a better place to go for someone who's trying to resurrect his career, to be honest with you, because that's what he's doing at Napoli. He's resurrecting his career.
And with players like Scott McTominay now over there, Kevin De Bruyne, I don't think there'll be any excuses really for Rasmus, because I think he will be getting opportunities to put that ball in the back of the net. And I don't often say it when players leave here at Manchester United. I tend not to keep an eye on any of them, but I probably will do with Rasmus Højlund, just like I've done with Scott McTominay. Ray Carl Brown from our members club says, we still need another centre forward for me. I think that's maybe coming next summer, possibly, mate. But then again, we've got the likes of Chido, Obbie as well. I mean, will he get any game time as well? Any opportunities?
Scored again the other day, he did.
Did he, for the under-21s?
Yeah, scored again, you know. So he's chomping at the bit. But I think he's been told that he will be in the squad. So he's getting some game time, get some goals behind him, and he will be brought in the squad. You just don't know what's going to go around. Like I say, Cunha got injured, Mason Mount. Next thing you know, Kobbie Mainoo is back in the fold. So you just don't know what's around the corner. But he's definitely in the squad this year. They've not sent him out on loan. He's here at United, and there will be opportunities because injuries do come around. We've seen it.
Yeah, I do think it's a bit early, though, for Chido Obbie. I've got to be honest with you.
Too early.
But I think there is like other options there. What Amorim's obviously done at the start of the season with Cunha up front, etc. We've got Brian and Mbeumo who can play there as well. And I think it was really good seeing Brian and Mbeumo against Burnley, where he looks now like he's got that match sharpness back as well. Because the previous 2 Premier League games, he looked like he was blowing after 60 minutes. Whereas that game, he just kept on going and going.
I don't know about yous out there with Mbeumo, but I thought the partnership between him and Ahmad really, really worked well. You could see it starting to tick. There was a communication. There was a threat when them two were joining up and going at it. And you can always say about Ahmad, when he's got the ball at his feet, it's very hard to take it off him. And he is a threat running at players. And he got us the penalty. But there is a combination working there. Nothing works straight away. But them two look as though they're starting to build a partnership, and it's only been a few games. We've had a frantic game in the midweek, but for me, going forward, I think everyone really should keep an eye out for that because it will flourish, and when that flourishes, then the other side opens up and players will have space.
It's been good to see in the chat today, people joining us from all over the world, the Netherlands, Australia, America, etc., and even our very own Manchester as well. So we're going to, well, I was going to end it just there, but Gavin McAlpine
has just said for ending it.
Right, okay, but Gavin McAlpine's not either. Thanks for your super chat, my mate. He says, "Hi lads, hope yous are keeping well. We are doing well. Are you all right?"
I'm all right. Listen, as soon as I heard that Sancho news this morning, and I'm not joking with you, right? It's the best news of the day. And like I say, I did say before, there's a dark cloud. I think it's more of a dark cloud what's lifted off me. It's like I've been pushed down, and I think many other United fans, because he gives you that like horrible mood and that, and it's like, just get him out. But everyone's been like that. And the bad news and the annoyance this man has created at Manchester United and took liberties with the managers and everything in the club and its fans. He has looked at the fans and he has disrespected us. And I'll never forgive him for that. I think he's the most horriblest footballer, lack of motivation I've ever seen. I don't wish him well, and that's not me being bitter or twisted, but he's actually cheered me up that he's gone.
Yeah, it's just as though, like Sancho, he's tried to do everything possible to make it hard for Manchester United.
That's what his intention was.
To move him on. And you look at the two options, Chelsea or Aston Villa. I know which one I would have chosen if it was in Sancho's shoes, especially when you're looking at it this season. But I'm going to go back into Gavin McAlpine's chat.
Sorry about that, Gavin.
It's no problem, Gavin. Sesko has to start against City and needs to score as soon as possible to build his confidence for the season.
Yeah, Sesko will have to start. There's no two ways about it. But scoring at City, not easy. Not easy at all. But, you know, you've just got to wish him well. He has to play 90 minutes. There's no ifs or buts about Sesko now, okay? There's obviously been a doubt with the manager and the coaching staff about starting him as though he's not up to fitness and that. But things will take time. But he will start against City. Keep him on. That's the way it is. But what a job he's got to do, because he will be up there on his own. And it's okay having players there what are going to run and fight and everything else like that. But when you go to City with a striker, we tend to just have one man up there, and I don't see it changing. So he's got a fight on his hand, a real fight. But good luck to him, and he will get there, and he will score goals eventually. Because once this team clicks, you can see these players in there. It's just every now and again, because it's not 100%, everyone's not right in the direction they're going. And changes can just happen at any time. It just seems as though like we're all waiting for something to knock them off off the straight line. But Sesko, there's no two ways about it. He starts and will start every game, barring injury. And I'll go back to Kobbie. That's where Kobbie will hopefully be getting the goals in the under-21s, and he will be put in the squad, and there will be opportunities.
Just going to go back into the chat. Ben Ramsdale, he'll go a false 9 against City. Kevin Pimlet says, love the channel boys from Illinois in USA. There's people saying they were from South Africa as well. Worldwide show today. Marcus Stevenson from our members club says, calm down, guys. Sancho is left. We can relax. The nightmare is over.
Yeah, I've got to go back to that comment before.
I think he's trying to get you at it, getting you and keeping you on Sancho.
Yeah. No, I've got to go back to that comment about we'll play a false 9 at City. I don't think so. I think looking at their games and that, there's an opportunity. The manager will think to get at them. You know, they've been beat by Brighton. They've been beat at home. So for me, I think they're vulnerable. So why hide? Why sort of like play defensive and hope for maybe 2 opportunities? No, I think there's an opportunity here to go at City. I don't think they've settled. I don't think they're as good. Rodri's back. That was clearly their downfall last season, but he's not hit the ground running. So for me, there's a long way to go for City. They need to step it up. Will they be able to step it up in a Manchester derby? Because as we know, anything can happen. We have won there, and we've won there when people, and this is the good thing about United, when no one's expecting it except Man United fans.
Bruno says, O'Neill, why do Manchester United want to extend Sancho's contract? Well, it's definitely not for footballing reasons, mate. It's more so probably from the financial point of view, in the hope to maybe get a transfer fee for him next summer. And I can understand that, and I can actually get behind that decision to try and get something for him next season.
Well, I don't know what you've read, but I can only tell you what I've read. Yes, they can extend his contract. There is an option there for another year. But I'll tell you something now. I never in my wildest dreams would think Manchester United would want to, in any way, want to deal with Sancho ever again by offering. They're not getting any money for him. I've told you that. He's not worth anything because everyone knows, for me, United have no intention, the way I look at it, in the future of extending that contract to get that 1 more year out of him. 1 more year out of him. They've had nothing out of him, £73 million in 4 years. So they're not going to keep him on, as I see it, and extend and take that 1 year option up. To me, utter madness. And if they does, I don't know what I'd do. I'd be speechless. They won't do it. They won't do it. You're getting me at it.
Just like to thank you all for joining us today. I've just noticed there Fabrizio Romano, and it's on our ticker. United sign a 3-year-old goalkeeper. That's my mistake on there, missing out the 2 before the 3. So if you did see that earlier on, good spot by all of yous out there. But
probably better than Onana and Bayindir at 3 years of age. So it might be right. It might be right. It might be the another reserve goalie coming in, a 3-year-old. Yeah, for the player for the future.
They can walk at that age, and they can also catch if anyone's ever brought up a youngster. But yeah, I'd just like to thank you all for joining us today.
Fantastic.
Getting involved in the chat with your own opinions, been popping off in there as usual. Please continue it as well in the comments section, and any updates that we've missed in today's show, please let us know in that comment section, and smash a like on today's video to help support the channel. We'll be back tomorrow with another live, so get that notification on, and we'll see you there soon. Enjoy your night, Reds. Thank you.
Thank you.